Death is a natural part of life, yet many of us are unprepared when a loved one begins showing signs that their final stage is approaching. While science provides valuable insights into the physical changes that occur, Buddhist teachings remind us that impermanence is the very nature of existence. Understanding the subtle signs of approaching death can help us provide better care, create meaningful moments, and embrace this transition with peace and acceptance. In this video, we will discuss 5 key signs that indicate an elderly person may be in their final year of life. We will also explore how Buddhist principles of mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment can help us navigate this difficult time. Stay with us until the end, as these insights may change the way you approach the last months of a loved one's life. Sign number 1, unintentional and persistent weight loss. One of the earliest and most noticeable signs that a person is nearing the end of life is significant weight loss. This isn't just about losing a few pounds, it's the body signaling a deeper transformation. As the body prepares for its final stage, it undergoes profound physiological and metabolic changes that can result in a decline in muscle mass, fat stores, and overall body weight. Understanding this phenomenon can help caregivers and loved ones provide compassionate care while also embracing the spiritual aspects of life's impermanence. Why does this happen? Several physiological and medical factors contribute to unintentional and persistent weight loss in those approaching the end of life. Recognizing these causes can help alleviate concerns and allow caregivers to focus on comfort and quality of life. 1. Metabolic changes. As the body nears the end of life, its metabolic rate slows down significantly. The digestive system becomes less efficient at processing and absorbing nutrients, leading to a natural decline in weight. The body begins to prioritize essential functions, gradually shutting down non-essential systems. This is a natural part of the body's preparation for transition. 2. Loss of appetite. A diminished appetite is common among those who are in their final months or weeks of life. This may be due to reduced hunger signals. The body no longer demands the same amount of energy as before. Difficulty swallowing. Some individuals experience dysphagia, trouble swallowing, making eating a challenge. Changes in taste and smell. Food may become less appealing as the senses diminish. Increased fatigue. Eating requires energy, and the body may prioritize rest over food intake. 3. Underlying illnesses. Chronic illnesses such as cancer, heart failure, kidney disease, and neurodegenerative conditions can accelerate weight loss. Cancer, for example, often triggers cachexia, a syndrome characterized by severe muscle wasting and weakness. Other conditions, like advanced heart or kidney disease, can cause loss of appetite and difficulty maintaining body weight. Buddhism teaches that the body is impermanent. It ages, weakens, and eventually ceases to function. The Buddha encouraged us to see the body as a temporary vessel, not something to cling to. When we witness unintentional weight loss in our loved ones, instead of reacting with fear or distress, we can choose to see it as a natural part of the cycle of existence. In Buddhist philosophy, attachment to the physical form leads to suffering. Instead of fearing weight loss, we can use it as an opportunity to practice gratitude. Every moment spent with a loved one becomes even more precious. When we accept the impermanence of the body, we can shift our focus toward providing comfort, love, and meaningful connection. There is a well-known story of an old monk who, in his final months, began to eat less and lose weight. His disciples were deeply worried and urged him to eat more, fearing for his health. Seeing their concern, the old monk smiled and said, "This body has served me well. It has walked many paths and meditated for many years. Now it prepares to return to the earth. Do not grieve for its fading form. Instead, cherish the teachings and wisdom it has shared." His words reminded his disciples to let go of their attachment to his physical presence and instead treasure the wisdom and love he had imparted to them. This story teaches us that rather than fearing the inevitable changes in the body, we can embrace them as part of the natural cycle of life. When caring for someone who is experiencing unintentional and persistent weight loss, the focus should be on comfort and well-being rather than trying to force weight gain. Here are some practical ways to provide support. 1. Offer small, nutrient-dense meals. Instead of large meals, provide smaller, more frequent portions that are rich in calories and nutrients. Smoothies, soups, and soft foods can be easier to consume for those with difficulty chewing or swallowing. Encourage high calorie snacks like nut butters, avocados, yogurt, and protein rich foods. 2. Focus on comfort rather than forcing food. Understand that the person may not feel hungry, and forcing them to eat can cause distress. Respect their preferences and allow them to eat what they enjoy. Ensure they are eating in a calm, comfortable environment. 3. Encourage hydration and gentle physical activity. Dehydration can worsen fatigue and discomfort. Offering sips of water, herbal teas, or electrolyte rich drinks can help maintain hydration. Gentle movement, like stretching or short walks if possible, can help maintain circulation and well being. 4. Provide emotional and spiritual support. Engage in meaningful conversations, reminiscing about happy memories and shared experiences. Offer gentle touch, such as holding hands or giving a soothing massage, to provide comfort. If the person follows a religious or spiritual tradition, encourage prayers, chanting, or meditative practices that bring them peace. Witnessing a loved one experience unintentional and persistent weight loss can be challenging, but it is a natural part of life's journey. Rather than viewing it as a sign of suffering, we can shift our perspective to see it as a transition, a time to offer love, gratitude, and presence. By embracing the wisdom of Buddhist teachings, we learn that the physical form is temporary, but love, kindness, and spiritual connection endure beyond the body. The most important thing we can do is to be present, offer comfort, and cherish the remaining moments with our loved ones. In the end, the weight that truly matters is not the weight of the body, but the weight of the love and memories we leave behind. Sign number 2, extreme fatigue and weakness. Fatigue and weakness are common signs in elderly individuals approaching the end of life. Unlike ordinary tiredness, this extreme exhaustion does not improve with rest. It can manifest as a persistent lack of energy, difficulty completing daily tasks, or a strong preference to remain still and disengaged from activities that once brought joy. Why does this happen? Energy conservation. The body prioritizes its remaining energy for essential functions. As life nears its natural conclusion, the body instinctively redirects its focus away from non-essential movements and activities, leading to a noticeable decrease in physical strength. Weakened circulation. Over time, circulation slows, resulting in less oxygen being delivered to the muscles and brain. This reduced oxygen supply contributes to an overwhelming sense of weakness and an increased need for rest. Emotional withdrawal. Fatigue often coincides with a deep sense of detachment from worldly affairs. The mind, recognizing the body's declining state, gradually shifts its focus inward, preparing for the next phase of existence. Buddhism teaches that suffering often stems from attachment, whether to people, ambitions, or material possessions. As the end of life approaches, individuals naturally begin releasing their grasp on these worldly concerns. This process of letting go is not a sign of despair, but rather a peaceful surrender to the flow of life. Aging and the nearing of death can be seen as a final opportunity to embrace impermanence. The fatigue and withdrawal an elderly person experiences may be their way of gradually loosening their ties to the physical world, aligning with the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. A dying grandmother once described her experience with profound wisdom. "I feel like a lotus that has bloomed all day and is now closing at dusk. It is not sadness, but a natural cycle." Her words resonated deeply with her family, helping them understand that her fatigue was not something to be fought against, but rather an indication of a peaceful transition. Just as the lotus flower follows the rhythm of nature, opening with the morning light and closing at nightfall, human life follows its own course, eventually returning to stillness. Caring for someone experiencing extreme fatigue requires compassion, patience, and a deep respect for their journey. Here are some ways to provide support. Allow extra rest. Avoid pressuring them to engage in activities. Instead, honor their need for more sleep and quiet time. Their energy levels will naturally fluctuate, and it's essential to follow their pace. Create a peaceful atmosphere. Spend time together in stillness. Hold their hand, play soothing music, or simply sit beside them in silence. Presence itself can be a source of comfort. Encourage gentle practices. Simple mindfulness exercises, such as slow, deep breathing or guided meditation, can help them find peace in their changing state. Chanting Buddhist mantras or listening to sacred teachings may also provide reassurance. Respect their withdrawn state. Understand that their increasing detachment from daily life is a natural part of the transition. Instead of trying to draw them back into engagement, honor their need for solitude and introspection. Provide nourishment in a way that feels right. Appetite may decrease along with energy. Offer light, nourishing foods without forcing them to eat. Sipping warm tea or broth can sometimes be more soothing than a full meal. In many ways, extreme fatigue in the elderly can be understood not as a struggle, but as a quiet unfolding of life's final chapter. Just as the seasons change without resistance, the body, too, follows its natural cycle. By embracing this process with understanding and reverence, we can help our loved ones and ourselves find peace in the impermanence of all things. Rather than viewing their fatigue as a problem to be solved, we can see it as an invitation to slow down, like to be present, and to cherish each remaining moment with gentle acceptance. Sign number 3, cognitive changes and emotional withdrawal. As the body nears the final stage of life, significant changes occur in both cognition and emotions. It is common for individuals to experience confusion, forgetfulness, and withdrawal from social interactions. They may appear less engaged in conversations, lose interest in daily routines, or even exhibit moments of disorientation. These changes can be unsettling for family members and caregivers, but understanding why they happen can help provide comfort and support during this transition. Cognitive changes and emotional withdrawal stem from a combination of physiological, psychological, and spiritual factors. While each person's experience is unique, several common causes explain these shifts in behavior and awareness. 1. Reduced oxygen and blood circulation to the brain. As the body's systems begin to slow down, circulation becomes less efficient, and oxygen supply to the brain decreases. This can lead to confusion, forgetfulness, and moments of disorientation. The individual may struggle to recognize familiar faces, forget recent events, or have difficulty processing new information. 2. A natural detachment from the material world. As the end of life approaches, many individuals lose interest in conversations, social interactions, and daily activities. This withdrawal is not necessarily due to sadness or depression, but rather a natural shift in focus. They may feel less concerned about worldly matters such as news, financial concerns, or social obligations. This process allows them to turn their attention inward, preparing for what comes next. 3. Emotional and psychological processing. For many, the final stage of life is a time of reflection. The mind may begin reviewing past experiences, unresolved emotions, and deep-seated memories. This internal processing can lead to moments of silence, as the individual may be engaged in deep thought or even spiritual contemplation. In some cases, they might appear to be talking to someone who isn't physically present, recalling old events, or expressing emotions that have long been buried. In Buddhist philosophy, the end of life is not just a physical transition, but also a profound spiritual journey. As one nears death, the mind naturally shifts away from attachments to the physical world and begins the process of detachment and liberation. This phase is seen as an opportunity for reflection, forgiveness, and letting go of regrets. Many Buddhist teachings emphasize that this is the time to cultivate a peaceful and clear mind, as the state of mind at the moment of death is believed to influence the next stage of existence. Key Buddhist insights into this transition include detachment from ego and material concerns. The diminishing interest in worldly matters aligns with the Buddhist concept of impermanence. Everything in life is temporary, and at the moment of death, holding on to attachments can create suffering. Karmic review. Some individuals may recall past events, both good and bad, as the mind naturally processes accumulated karma. This is why some elders may speak about events from decades ago with striking clarity, even if they struggle with short-term memory. Preparation for rebirth or liberation. Depending on their spiritual beliefs, a dying person may begin to experience visions, dreams, or feelings that indicate their consciousness is preparing for the next stage. In Buddhist traditions, monks or family members often chant or recite prayers to help guide the soul peacefully. A powerful example of this transition can be found in the story of an elderly man who, in his final months, experienced a profound cognitive and emotional shift. At 92 years old, Mr. Liang had been known for his lively conversations and sharp memory. He loved sharing stories from his youth, discussing philosophy, and engaging with his grandchildren. However, in the last months of his life, his demeanor changed. He spoke less, spent more time in silent reflection, and seemed distant even when surrounded by family. His children initially thought he was simply tired or experiencing age-related memory loss. However, one evening he suddenly spoke with great clarity about vivid dreams he had been having. In these dreams, he saw himself living in different times and places, sometimes as a farmer, sometimes as a soldier, sometimes as a monk. He described details so specific that his family was both intrigued and bewildered. At first, they thought it was just his imagination, but a Buddhist monk in the community explained that such visions were common for those nearing the end of life. The mind, in its final stage, often recalls deep-seated memories from past lives or prepares for the next journey. In Mr. Liang's case, his detachment from daily conversations was not a sign of loss, but rather a shift in consciousness towards something greater. He passed away peacefully a few weeks later, with his family reciting prayers by his bedside. His story remains a reminder of the profound mystery that accompanies the transition from life to death. When a loved one begins to show signs of cognitive changes and emotional withdrawal, family members and caregivers may feel uncertain about how to respond. Here are some practical ways to provide comfort and support. 1. Speak softly and provide reassurance. Even if the person seems distant, they can often still hear and feel the presence of loved ones. Speak in a gentle and soothing tone, offering words of comfort. Simple phrases like, "I'm here with you," "You are loved," or "Everything is okay" can provide reassurance. 2. Create a calm and familiar environment. A peaceful setting can help ease confusion and distress. Consider keeping familiar objects nearby, such as photographs or personal belongings. Playing soft music, nature sounds, or chanting, depending on their preferences. Using gentle lighting and minimizing unnecessary noise. 3. Allow them to express their thoughts freely. If they begin to speak about unusual experiences, past memories, or visions, listen without judgment. Avoid dismissing their words as mere hallucinations or confusion. Sometimes they may be processing something significant, and simply being present and receptive can bring them comfort. 4. Offer spiritual or emotional support. If they have religious or spiritual beliefs, incorporating familiar prayers, mantras, or rituals can provide a sense of peace. For Buddhists, chanting or reciting texts such as the Heart Sutra or Amitabha Buddha's name is believed to help guide the transition smoothly. 5. Accept the process with compassion. It can be difficult to witness a loved one withdrawing, but remember that this is a natural part of their journey. Instead of trying to bring them back into conversations or daily activities, honor the space they need for reflection. Cognitive changes and emotional withdrawal in the final stage of life are deeply connected to both physiological and spiritual processes. While these changes may seem distressing at first, they can also be seen as part of a natural transition, one that prepares the individual for their next journey, whether that is rebirth, liberation, or another form of existence. By offering patience, understanding, and a loving presence, we can help ease their journey, creating an environment of peace and support in their final days. Sign number 4, frequent infections and slow healing. As the body nears the final stages of life, the immune system undergoes significant weakening. This results in an increased susceptibility to infections and a noticeably slower healing process for wounds and illnesses. What once may have been a simple cold or minor injury can now take weeks or even months to heal. This decline is not just a singular symptom, but a reflection of the body's overall diminishing ability to maintain and repair itself. Why does this happen? The body's ability to fight infections and heal wounds diminishes for several key reasons. Decline in white blood cells. The immune system relies heavily on white blood cells to detect and combat pathogens. As we age, the production of these crucial cells declines, making it harder for the body to mount a strong defense against infections. This leads to frequent colds, pneumonia, urinary tract infections, and other illnesses that can become increasingly severe. Poor circulation. Efficient blood flow is necessary for delivering oxygen and nutrients to wounds and for carrying away waste products. With age, circulation slows due to weakened blood vessels and a less efficient heart. This can result in prolonged wound healing and an increased risk of complications such as infections and ulcers. Weakened organ function. The body prioritizes essential organs such as the brain and heart over other systems, including the immune system. As organ function declines, resources are diverted away from immune responses, making it harder to fight infections and recover from illnesses. Chronic conditions. Many older adults suffer from chronic diseases such as diabetes, kidney disease, and cardiovascular conditions. These conditions further weaken the immune response and complicate recovery from infections and wounds. Nutritional deficiencies. A reduced appetite, difficulty swallowing, or poor digestion can lead to deficiencies in essential nutrients, including vitamin C, D, and zinc, which are crucial for immune function and wound healing. Buddhism teaches that suffering often arises from resistance to change. Aging, illness, and death are natural processes, and our struggle against them only adds to our suffering. Instead of fearing illness or becoming frustrated by slow recovery, we can cultivate acceptance and find peace in understanding the impermanence of the physical body. There was once an old Buddhist teacher who fell ill with a persistent fever. His students, worried about his condition, asked if he was suffering. To their surprise, he smiled and said, "This body is like an old house. Over the years, the beams weaken, the walls crack, and the roof begins to leak. We repair it when we can, but we do not cry when it finally collapses. The body, too, is impermanent. To resist its decline is to suffer. To accept it is to find peace." This story reminds us that rather than focusing on the deterioration of the body, we can shift our attention to inner peace, gratitude, and mindfulness. Acceptance does not mean neglect. It means embracing the natural course of life with wisdom and compassion. Practical tips for supporting those experiencing frequent infections and slow healing. 1. Focus on comfort and hygiene. Since the immune system is weakened, maintaining good hygiene can help prevent infections. Regular hand washing, keeping wounds clean, and ensuring a sanitary living environment can reduce the risk of illness. 2. Encourage proper nutrition. Providing nutrient-dense meals rich in vitamins and proteins can support immune function. If eating solid foods becomes difficult, soft foods or nutrient-dense soups and smoothies can be beneficial. 3. Stay hydrated. Dehydration can make infections worse and slow healing. Encourage adequate fluid intake through water, herbal teas, or electrolyte-rich drinks. Avoid unnecessary hospitalizations. While medical intervention can be beneficial, frequent hospitalizations can sometimes cause more harm than good. Hospitals expose elderly individuals to new infections and can contribute to confusion or discomfort. Instead, focus on home-based care when possible, prioritizing comfort and quality of life. 5. Provide warmth and emotional support. The warmth of human connection can be deeply healing. Simple acts like holding hands, speaking in a soothing voice, or offering gentle massages can bring comfort and reduce anxiety about illness. 6. Use natural remedies when appropriate. In some cases, natural remedies such as honey for a sore throat, turmeric for inflammation, or ginger tea for digestion can support healing without unnecessary side effects. 7. Encourage rest and gentle movement. While rest is essential, light movements such as stretching or slow walks can help with circulation and prevent further decline in health. 8. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Teaching mindfulness practices can help individuals cope with pain and illness. Simple breathing exercises or guided meditations can ease distress and promote a sense of calm. 9. Prepare for the transition with compassion. In cases where the body is approaching its final decline, the focus should shift from healing to providing a peaceful, loving environment. Spiritual guidance, soothing music, and cherished company can make the transition more serene. Aging is a journey that comes with both challenges and wisdom. The body naturally weakens, but our ability to cultivate peace and understanding can grow stronger. Frequent infections and slow healing may be signs of a body nearing its final chapter, but they also offer an opportunity to practice acceptance, care, and deep compassion. By approaching this stage of life with mindfulness, kindness, and an understanding of impermanence, we can help our loved ones experience this transition with dignity and grace. Instead of resisting the inevitable, we can embrace each moment as it comes, with gratitude for the life that has been lived and gentle acceptance of what is to come. Sign number 5. Changes in breathing and circulation. As the body prepares for its final transition, significant physiological changes occur. One of the most noticeable signs is the alteration in breathing patterns and circulation. A dying person's breath may become irregular, sometimes rapid, sometimes shallow, with long pauses in between. Additionally, their extremities, such as hands and feet, may feel cold to the touch. These changes can be distressing for loved ones, but they are natural signs of the body's gradual shutdown. Why does this happen? 1. Reduced lung function. As the body nears the end of life, its energy is redirected toward maintaining only the most essential functions. The lungs, which typically work continuously to provide oxygen to the body, begin to slow down. The brain sends fewer signals to stimulate regular breathing, leading to periods of apnea, temporary pauses in breathing. This can create a pattern known as Cheyne-Stokes breathing, characterized by cycles of deep breaths followed by periods of little to no breathing. At this stage, the body prioritizes oxygen for the most vital organs, such as the brain and heart, while the function of peripheral organs diminishes. As a result, the efficiency of lung function declines and the person may appear to struggle for breath. However, they are often not in distress, even if their breathing looks labored. 2. Poor circulation. Blood circulation slows down as the heart weakens, leading to a decrease in blood flow to the extremities. This results in hands, feet, and even the nose or ears becoming noticeably colder. The skin may take on a mottled or bluish appearance, a condition known as mottling, due to the uneven distribution of oxygenated blood. This process is part of the body's natural shutdown. Because there is less need for movement and activity, the body stops sending as much blood to the limbs, prioritizing circulation to the brain, heart, and other essential organs. 3. Final energy conservation. Just as a candle flickers before it goes out, the body conserves its last bits of energy for essential functions. This is why some people in the final stage of life sleep more, become less responsive, or even enter a coma-like state. The body's systems are winding down, and its focus is solely on preserving life for as long as possible before the inevitable transition. For caregivers and loved ones, this can be a difficult time emotionally. Witnessing a person's body grow colder or seeing them struggle with irregular breathing may evoke feelings of helplessness. However, understanding that this is a natural and painless process can provide some comfort. Buddhists often emphasize the breath as a meditation tool, a practice known as anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. The breath is considered a direct link to the present moment, helping individuals cultivate awareness and inner peace. In Buddhist teachings, the breath also serves as a reminder of anicca, impermanence, the understanding that all things, including life itself, are transient. As a person approaches death, their breath becomes an ultimate teacher, guiding them toward acceptance and surrender. Many Buddhist practitioners believe that the final moments of life are an opportunity for spiritual liberation. The way one experiences their last breath can influence their journey beyond this life. If the person passes away with a calm and peaceful mind, it is said to ease their transition into the next distance. For this reason, in Buddhist traditions, it is common for loved ones to sit quietly with the dying person, offering prayers or gentle reassurances rather than expressing distress. By maintaining a peaceful environment, they help the individual focus on their transition with clarity and serenity. A famous Buddhist teaching says, "The breath comes and goes, it arises and passes. So does life. To cling to it is to suffer. To let it flow naturally is liberation." By embracing this perspective, both the dying person and their loved ones can find greater peace in the moment. Practical tips: how to provide comfort. 1. Maintain a calm environment. Keep the surroundings quiet and peaceful. Speak in a soft and reassuring tone. Play gentle music or soothing chants if the person finds it comforting. A stressful or chaotic atmosphere can make it harder for the dying person to let go peacefully. Keeping the environment serene allows them to focus inward and accept the process. 2. Provide gentle breathing support. If the person is experiencing labored breathing, elevate their head with pillows. A cool mist humidifier can help ease dryness in the throat and nasal passages. Avoid forcing oxygen masks or artificial interventions unless necessary. Often, less is more when it comes to medical interventions at this stage. The goal is not to prolong life unnaturally, but to ensure the person is as comfortable as possible. 3. Offer presence, not pressure. Simply sitting beside the person can provide immense comfort. Hold their hand gently if they find it reassuring. Avoid overwhelming them with too many people in the room. Many people in their final moments are aware of the presence of loved ones, even if they can no longer speak or respond. Being there with them, without pressure or expectation, can be one of the most profound gifts you can offer. 4. Keep them warm, but not overheated. Use soft blankets to provide warmth, but avoid overheating them. Gently massage their hands or feet if it seems comforting. Adjust room temperature to ensure they are neither too cold nor too hot. Because circulation is declining, a dying person may feel cold even in a warm room. However, excessive layers of blankets can be uncomfortable, so monitoring their temperature is important. 5. Accept and let go. Remind yourself that this process is natural. Avoid projecting your own fears onto the person. Offer words of love and reassurance, such as, "You are safe, you are loved, everything is okay." The most profound support you can give is not trying to fix or change the situation, but simply being present and accepting it as it is. Changes in breathing and circulation are among the final signs of life's transition. While they may seem distressing, they are part of a natural process. By understanding why they happen and embracing a compassionate, mindful approach, we can help ensure that our loved ones experience their final moments with dignity, peace, and love. From a Buddhist perspective, the breath is both a teacher and a guide, leading us toward acceptance of impermanence. In the end, all we can do is breathe with them, love them, and let them go with grace. Recognizing these signs allows us to care for our loved ones with wisdom and compassion. Instead of fearing death, we can approach it with acceptance, making every moment meaningful. Life is a fleeting gift, and by understanding its natural cycles, we can transform fear into gratitude, sorrow into love, and uncertainty into peace. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we learn to appreciate the present more deeply. Every shared smile, every kind word, and every act of love becomes even more precious. Rather than resisting the inevitable, we can choose to honor the journey of those we love, walking beside them with presence and tenderness. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means holding on to the love and wisdom they leave behind while allowing them to transition with dignity and grace. As we reflect on these truths, let us cherish the time we have, offer love without attachment, and find peace in the natural flow of existence. May we approach life and death with an open heart, finding solace in the wisdom that all things are interconnected. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share to help others navigate this journey with awareness and grace.